The lizards are back. Oh yeah. Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another legacy video. Today's video is supported by Corinna D, who donated to see a rug version of the 8 Lizard, 8 Rootwalla Madness deck. Okay, so last week, okay. I recently 5-0'd with a very similar version to this deck on the channel. Time is a wibbly, wobbly, timey-wimey, constructy thing. So I don't remember exactly when it was for you, but it was probably about a week and a half ago for you, if I'm guessing. Maybe 2 weeks. And I'm really excited to give this list a go because her build is doing something that I have never seen before in one of these Madness decks, at least recently, and that's the inclusion of Cephalid Coliseum. So Corinna did not like the random elements of Burning Inquiry, the card that both players draw for and then discard 4 cards at random, because, well, sometimes that card just screws you, and it puts you in a terrible situation where you're not really ready to just, like, start winning the game afterwards. And she wanted to include Careful Study as in the deck as a second copy of Faithless Looting to just kind of increase the consistency. And she also wanted Cephalid Coliseum as just like this absolutely disgusting, really card advantage outlet for this deck. Oh, there's 2 cards off screen, and these are important. So, she sent me this build along with a couple questions and statements, and we did a little bit of back and forth, and I made some adjustments. There are a couple of things I really like about the list. I do love Cephalid Coliseum and Careful Study, but then there's 3 things that I don't like about the list. Number 1, I don't think Street Wraith does enough in this deck. Yes, it is deck thinning. Yes, it works towards Hollow One, but I don't think this is really an explosive card, and I want explosive with this deck. Number 2, Hogak was in this list, but Hogak's convoke/delve costs, like the actual symbols, have to be paid by either black or green creatures, and there's only 8 of those in the deck. And when you have Vengevines in play, you would like to turn them sideways and attack. So I don't necessarily think Hogak is actually good here. And number 3, I'm not sure that you get to get away with playing a snow-covered island in this 3-color deck. Like, theoretically, on turn 1, I want blue, I want red, I want green, and then, like, I also have, like, these madness costs to be thinking about as well. I'm not sure you get to get away with that. So here is, I guess I'm going to need to adjust some costs here, get everything on screen. Here is the version that I am going to play today. I've made a few adjustments, kept the spirit of the deck true, but I think I've improved upon the original. Like, time will tell. But here's what I came up with for some changes. So number 1, I replaced Street Wraiths with Once Upon a Time. This deck wants to hit its land drop, and there's, like, very specifically some creatures that you want to have in your opening hand, especially Anji's Ravager. It's just gross with Lion's Eye Diamond. So I thought this would increase the consistency of the deck quite a bit and would just be better than Street Wraith. Number 2, I replaced the 2 Hogaks with Breakthroughs. Like, if we're gonna be in blue, like, let's go big, and let's play something that can draw us a bunch of cards and do a whole bunch of madness things, or otherwise fuel things like Oxyvagonus really, really well. I think that between Careful Study, Breakthrough, and Cephalid Coliseum, we should have a lot of just raw explosive power, and I think that's what this deck wants. Next up, I adjusted the sideboard. Corinna's original build had 4 Chain of Vapors, which felt like a lot to me, because I'm not sure there's very many things I care about. Like, a Leyline is kind of cool, but, like, we're gonna turn creatures sideways through a Leyline. Like, that's not the end of the world, right? So the blue does give you the ability to answer hate really well, but I'm not sure that we need all 4 of those. Number 2, Corinna had a pile of Mindbreak traps. I think my plan versus combo is kill them. I don't think I want to try to interact with combo. I don't think I want to try to hold a Mindbreak trap in my hand when I'm trying to play, like, Careful Study, Breakthrough, Faithless Looting, all this sort of stuff, when I'm trying to crack LED. I don't think that's the optimal way to fight combo. I think the optimal way to fight something like Doomsday is put 2 Vengevines in play and say, like, all right, your move. And then number 3, I added more removal to the sideboard. Firestorm was just absolutely disgusting in the last league that I played against decks like Death and Taxes and Elves. Like it is just so much card advantage. You know, kill 3 of their things, deal some damage to them, discard your hand, madness stuff in. This card was disgusting. And I think I'm also on board with something like a Lightning Axe just to take out early relevant creatures, Delvers, Ragavans, Dragon Rage Channelers, and so forth. I am really excited for this deck. It was so much fun to play last time around. Anyway, hope this helps you kind of see the deck building and deck tuning process. If you're already subscribed to the channel, great. You know what to do. Throw me a like. It supports my content for free. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing for legacy content. Well, legacy, modern, and vintage content 7 days a week. If you want to try out this deck or get one of your decks on the channel, that stuff's always available in the video information. Deck list description. You know the thing where you click the little arrow and it gives you all the text. That thing. Go there. All right, let's battle. Okay, my first opening hand is actually pretty interesting. Oh, and just as a side note, I bumped my volume for recording up just a notch in between the deck and now. So if you notice me getting a little bit louder, like you're not going crazy. Or like maybe you are going crazy, but like I actually did get louder. Anyway, I think I keep this opening hand. It's not like crazy explosive, but it just has infinite potential here. Like with all these copies of Faithless Looting and the Cephalid Coliseum, I'm going to be like drawing and discarding for days. Let's see where it goes. Okay, I'm going to discard a Vengevine and 1 Cephalid Coliseum here. I know I can discard the Basking Rootwalla, but my plan is currently to cast another Faithless Looting and then enable like the Vengevine returning. That's much more valuable than getting in for 1 extra point of damage next turn. Oh, don't chalice me. I am in bad shape to a chalice. Just like cast a Life from Loam or something, please. I beg you. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's less fine. That's scary. Okay. Well, as soon as I get a red source, or as soon as I activate Cephalid Coliseum, Operation Vengevine is good to go. This is a very strange hand where I did just draw triple Cephalid Coliseum in the opener. That should be uncommon. Oh, we're just crashing in, huh? Interesting. All right, I'm at 17. Oh, that's why we're crashing in. It is Operation Beatdown. Oh baby. All right. So I play this, and I play this. Now I have 4 cards in graveyard, assuming that I put both of these into play. Okay, so I guess I start by cracking for red, I think. Then I'm going to Madness both of these and return the Vengevine, and then I still get to like cast Faithless Looting and do some Cephalid Coliseum shenanigans later. Yeah. But because both of these are going to play, I'll have 6 cards in graveyard, so I can't do some of the absolute craziest things that are possible here. Alright. Here we go. Madness time. So I get a Lizard, and then I get a Lizard, and then I get a Vengevine. I have 6 cards in graveyard. We'll go down to 5 cards in graveyard, then up to 7 cards in graveyard. Oh, ho, 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 ho. All right. We'll discard the Anger, and I now have 7 in graveyard. I think I just go. All right. So I will target myself and pay the blue. See what else we can do here. All right. Well, I'm discarding all of these. Oh no, I need to control a mountain for Anger's haste. Awkward. Well, I guess these wouldn't attack into the 3/4 anyway. Well, let's send in the Vengevine. Alright, my opponent just takes the hit. There is the question here of whether or not I am actually the beatdown, but I think I am. Because like Life from the Loam returning Wastelands can probably lock me out of this game pretty easily. Alright, what you got? Oh, Punishing Fire. That's not bad. Alright. So we are both currently playing the beatdown game. It's fine. It's attacks for 6 versus attacks for 5. My opponent is currently winning that race. Do I want to hold back? I'm not sure that I do want to hold back. I think I just want to crash in and then just try to kill my opponent with Vengevine. I get lucky, and I can pump the brakes next turn if I don't get lucky. Yeah, that's fine. I just think my opponent has better controlling elements, so I have a better shot of just winning this game if I go for the throat here. But like, say I draw a blue producing land next turn, and I just get to, you know, Madness, double Rootwalla, return a Vengevine, and then I do crash in for exactly 11 if my opponent doesn't hold a creature back. Okay, yeah. So this puts me to 4. But 4 is not shit. That is quite good. Alright. Damn. So I'll play that out. Alright, Basking Rootwalla has haste. So I guess the next question is like, am I attacking with Vengevine? Or am I blocking with Vengevine? I think I'm blocking with Vengevine, intending to return it. Another Punishing Fire or Grove is a little awkward here in terms of like my life total management. Also awkward is the fact that like if my opponent holds back Elvish Reclaimers, they hold back Bojuka Bog, which in turn makes it harder for me to actually win. So it may be that I'm supposed to play towards a chump block line. Wow, this turn's really hard. Yeah, I'm going to play towards a chump block line here. Again, I just don't think the long game is favoring me here. I'm trying to incentivize my opponent to attack in with both of their creatures, because it puts me to 1, and then it shuts this off as a mana source. Yeah. My opponent's holding priority here. Makes me think they have Punishing Fire. Oh, nope. Well, I mean, if they have Punishing Fire, I guess it can just go to my dome and kill me that way. Alright, I'm at 1. Am I dead? Oh. You have the land? No. Alright. So if I can draw a couple Madness cards, I can get there here. So, can I return this Vengevine? That is what the game is about. Alright, here we go. Target me. Pay the blue. Alright. I will discard the Vengevine and the Blazing Rootwalla. And the Once Upon a Time, I guess. Alright, so this is Madness. I get to cast this with Madness, and it has haste. It fire breathings for 2, which is exactly 7. Hot damn. Okay. Margins for that win were incredibly slim. Yeah. GG. That was crazy close. I am really happy with how I played that game. Okay, out of the sideboard, the question is like, how much do I want to board? I like Lightning Axe to take out Reclaimer on turn 1, and I think I like Leyline of the Void. I think. Since I have these Cephalid Coliseums, the anger are a little bit worse in this build. I think I'm going to trim on those. I don't know that I'm going to cut it, but I think I'm going to trim on that. I want to bring in 6 cards. Once Upon a Time is another thing that I could trim. I could also trim one of the more all-in effects like Breakthrough, since my opponent has access to like Bojuka Bog off crop rotation and such. Those become a little bit less attractive. Doing something like this is potentially okay. Plus or minus a couple cards. I'm not sure. Yeah, I actually think I'm gonna go down the breakthroughs instead of the angers. I'm just a little worried about overcommitting to the graveyard with breakthrough in a match where my opponent like is very likely to have potent graveyard hate basically every hand. Oh. Oh god. This hand is fucking stacked. Good god. So this makes this makes 10 power on turn 1. That seems good. Alright, an Elvish Reclaimer. That's fine. Oh, Blazing Rootwalla too. Sure. I think I want a Volcanic Island as my land. Let's fetch that up. Is Lion's Eye Diamond a stupid card? Yes or no? Alright. So we put all these on the stack. I will cast this. I will cast this. That triggers the Vengevine. I will use the ability. And then I will cast this. Okay, turn 1. Now, for those of you playing at home who are wanting to do everything perfectly right, I believe it was correct to put the Blazing Rootwalla trigger on the bottom. On the off chance that my opponent had like a Mind Break trap, I'd want to have my Anji's Ravagers in play earlier. Okay, actually, no, that's not true because I already cast a Lion's Eye. Fuck me. Well, shit. It'll work out somehow. Oh no, it won't. Oh fuck. Well, that was impressive. Okay, so all all my creatures are dead. My fucking epic turn 1. Uh, oh man. I'm not even mad. Like, my opponent loses their Elvish Reclaimer here. I do have a stacked graveyard. So there is that. Alright. Do I crack immediately? I think so. Hey, the blue. Rats. So I got Madness cards, but I was looking for, like, Rootwallas. That's a shame. It also means that all my Anji's Ravagers are now in my discard pile, which is a wee bit rough. Alright. Well, we'll find some lizards. Don't you worry. Hey, I found a lizard. Alright. I will cast said lizard. Alright. Okay. That is going to destroy me. Crash on in. When I draw another blue land, I can maybe bring back a Vengevine and start doing gross things. The Cephalid Coliseum, like this like Tabernacle cumulative upkeep sort of situation, is costing me 1 life and a turn in addition to just whatever Valakut Exploration is doing. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm dead. That's the confidence of someone who just put a Glacial Chasm into the graveyard, by the way. I'm donezo. Okay. So I'm going to die on my opponent's turn. I think I just need to sacrifice this and spike a blue land if I want to have any chance at actually winning this game. Alright. Step 1, done. Step 2. Be the ultimate luck sack. Here we go. That is not going to do it. I will concede here. Chain of Vapor is non-land, correct? Yes, non-land. On the play, it's a little more tempting to have Once Upon a Time. I want like Once Upon a Time over Anger, but the haste is even better on the play. I'm not sure that that's the case. Well, let's submit like this. I think I still want to respect their graveyard, but it's possible I should just like play Once Upon a Time over Leyline of the Void on the play. This hand doesn't do anything. This hand produces a Vengevine on turn 1. This is a keep. I'll bin the Careful Study. Here we go. Operation Broken Thing. Wow. So I actually probably want to slow roll this hand a little bit. I probably want to discard like Vengevine Anger and then make my turn 2 just super impressive rather than do anything else here. Although it's possible I should discard like Vengevine 1 Blazing Rootwalla this turn. Vengevine 1 Blazing Rootwalla, then Fateless Looting, double Blazing Rootwalla next turn. Yeah, let's do that. Although the anger is pretty darn good too. Let's discard the anger. I think I can miss out on that 1 point of damage this turn cycle. Just raw wasteland would be gross here on me though. Alright, Mox Diamond. Oh no. This means that scary things can definitely happen this turn. Alright, it's a life from the loam. So the Blast Zone is a touch scary. Alright. So I will cast Faithless Loading. Okay, we have Rootwallas for days. I will discard 2 of them here. Cast. Cast. That triggers the Vengevine. Yes. You come into play. I'll play the Cephalid Coliseum, although I can't cast another Rootwalla this turn. And I bash in for 6. Not bad. So I will probably have my opponent dead in 2 turns. There is this Blast Zone thing, though. And it's recursive. I'm not quite to 7 cards for like activating Cephalid Coliseum, but it'll probably be really good once I can. Alright, my opponent's just taking the draw 3 of Life from the Loam. Alright, there's the Dark Depths. It's just gonna get Tabernacle to slow me down. Yes. Understandable. Alright, so I need to pay for the Vengevine. And then I will go ahead and pay for 1 Lizard. And I'll let the second Lizard go. Thank you for your service. Scalding Tarn is not bad here. I can go ahead and put a 3rd creature into play. Or I can just Fire Breathe. The Fire Breathing might just be better here. Pick up Taiga. I can have green as well. Fire Breathe. Crash on in there for half my opponent's life total. Alright, Glacial Chasm hits the graveyard. Thespian Stage also hits play. Alright. How do I kill my opponent this turn? I need more power in play than what I have. I can... Ooh. Okay, so I can sacrifice both of my creatures, and then I'll have 7 cards in graveyard, allowing me to activate Cephalid Coliseum, which guaranteed brings back the Vengevine. If Vengevine and the 2 Basking Rootwallas that I discard go in, I can guarantee at least as much damage as what I have now. I think that's the play. Okay, let's do it. This is a weird situation. Oh, Lion's Eye Diamond is super cool here. Alright. So I think I cast this. And then I do this. Think. Target me. Pay the blue. Alright. So I think it's fine to do this now. Because I'm going to have the Ox as well. Alright. So cast with Madness. Cast with Madness. And this returns the Vengevine. Now, I haven't made a land drop yet, so I can go ahead and play this. And I'll crack LED for red. And then I'll play the Ox. We have gotten the curse word from the opponent in chat. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done? Alright. Yeah. So glad I'm recording. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wow. This was one of the most disgusting turns of Magic I have ever played in my life. I don't even know what to say. Just, this was a vintage turn. Whoa. Oh my god. Corinna, this deck is sick. Am I the bad guy today? Cephalid Coliseum, Lion's Eye Diamond, discard 2 of these and cast Breakthrough, leaving me with a Cephalid Coliseum and a Lion's Eye Diamond in play, in addition to like whatever bullshit else ends up happening. Yeah, I will keep this hand. Alright, we could be playing against counterspells, and counterspell would be pretty good against my hand. Alright, we are playing against Blue-Red Delver. Well, here we go. I'm no coward. Let's go. X is 0. I look like Dredge right now. Okay. So that thing gets to Surveil. That's fine. I have the LED in place, so I can dump this stuff, but I'm not dumping it for the highest degree of value yet, so I think I'm just going to chill. Like, I don't necessarily think that my, 2 slightly better than 1/1 creatures are going to outclass everything that Delver is doing. And oddly, I'm not going to be super great at filling the graveyard, because 2 of these lizards are just going to go to play. So even if I were to dump my hand with LED, I'd only have 4 cards in graveyard, 3 if I play a land. Well, just random passing thought, but I wonder if this deck could play Dragon Rage Channeler. Like, are there enough instants and sorceries in this deck that you could actually do that and have it be profitable as a way to like continuously but slowly fill the graveyard? I don't know, but it's a thought. Faithless Looting, Careful Study, or Faithless Looting Flashback, uh, Breakthrough Once Upon a Time. I don't know. Oh, it's non-creature, so it count the LEDs too. All right, I'll take one here. That's totally fine. Need to draw something. Okay, that's not really what I'm going for. I guess the next question is like, what land do I play? I think just something that doesn't hurt me. Although, can I play Cephalid Coliseum and double activate Cephalid Coliseums? I have 4 cards in graveyard. Okay, maybe that, like maybe double or triple activating Cephalid Coliseums is actually how I'm going to win this game. Like, just find anything that slightly increases my graveyard count and then do it that way. I still think I want to like put these into play when I do it. I can add 1, 2, 3, 4 for 5 total cards in graveyard. Ragavan goes to graveyard. That's Delirium. So the other thing I can do is I can just choose not to cast my lizards via madness if I really need to fuel my graveyard. Oh, that's such a weird line. I wonder if I need to do that though. Like, it's a draw 6, discard 6. I'll have an LED worth of mana, plus 1 land maybe. No, those are attacking. You have no choice. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can keep one of these cards somehow and start activating Cephalid Coliseums. I could also cast 1 Rootwalla and make it easier to enable like a Vengevine or something. Holy shit, this deck is hard to play. This deck has just put me into some of the weirdest like math and probability situations that I've ever been in. I can play Cephalid Coliseum and then just like triple cash in Cephalid Coliseums. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, yep. All right, let's go. This is weird. I don't know if this is correct, but I'm doing it. No. 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 Cephalid Coliseum, target me. All right. Discard 3 cards. There's a Basking Rootwalla. Now I start casting them. And now we'll repeat this. Alright, did not get any value that time. Alright, I need like some Vengevines here. Okay. So, I got a lizard. Alright. That was not quite how I wanted that whole scenario to go down. Alright. I think I'm dead after whiffing there. But I don't know, I think playing towards just like getting a pair of Vengevines and being able to put my opponent on a 2-turn clock was my out there. Yeah. I went deep. It did not work. But I am happy that I tried out that line because I do think that line gave me a great chance of winning. Let me know if you would have done something differently, and include a timestamp to remind me what I'm talking about, because it'll probably be a week and a half or 2 weeks from the time that I record this until it actually hits YouTube. That's the secret of being a content creator. All right. Rip half my life total. I just don't think I have any outs here. I don't know. Like, it's also possible I should have mulliganed that hand, but the hand seemed to have just so much potential. I'll pop out your graveyard, but I don't know that I actually need to be paying that much attention to it, because I think I'm done here. I'm just hesitant to concede, because like ripping Lion's Eye Diamond and flashing back Faithless Looting could like really do some weird stuff. Okay. Unseed. This is why we've got those lightning axes. So I will probably bring in a handful of removal spells. And I guess I'll, like, maybe trim on Anger and Once Upon a Time. That would get me to 60. It's also possible that, like, the all-in nature of Breakthrough is a little bit worse against counterspells. Yeah, I would actually buy that. Let's play like 2 of these. Yeah, let's play like 2 of those. Okay, what's our hand look like? Fine. Got a basic to start things off. I've got a Lightning Axe, which will probably be pretty good on turn 2. So the next question is, like, which land do I actually play? Do I lead on the land that can't be wastelanded, or do I lead on the land that potentially lets me Cephalid Coliseum earlier? I think I'm gonna lead on this. I would be okay if my opponent just, like, wastelanded me and passed. Alright, Faithless Looting, what you got for me? Oh, just straight up Force of Will, huh? Pitching Force. Yeah. I am good with this interaction. So, just talking about the hand a little bit more. One reason to lead on the mountain is that if this gets wastelanded, the Careful Study stuck in my hand unless I actually play out the Cephalid Coliseum immediately. So, like, that's a thing to consider. Ooh, buddy. There are various degrees of greed that I could take with this hand. I think I'm gonna just play pretty safely here. And I'm just gonna Firestorm for 1 and just discard the Blazing Rootwalla. This plays this removal spell around Daze and, like, uses the Firestorm while it can still remove something that's small. There's only 2 card types in Graveyard, and something like a Force of Will isn't going to change the number of card types in the graveyard. Okay, so opponent's pausing here. They may have another force effect. Oh, they do. Force pitching a Delver of Secrets. Sure. I traded Firestorm for Force of Will and Delver there. That's good for me. I'm not going to Lightning Axe immediately. I'm going to try to set up a better Lightning Axe. Okay. Triple Force of Will plus Daze. I did not play around that. That's fine. Like, given the speed that my deck plays at, and, like, kind of given how this hand looks, I think I do just want to use my blue mana this turn, because in the not too distant future, I'm going to want to use my blue mana to activate Cephalid Coliseum. Alright, that's just taking out a Rootwalla, that's fine. And the Dragon Rage Channeler is still a 1/1? Yeah, totally fine with me. I think it is just time to remove that threat before it gets big and starts hurting me. We'll discard the Careful Study and blow that up. Unfortunately, this puts 6 cards in graveyard, not 7, so I can't activate the Cephalid Coliseum this turn. But in the not too distant future, I have a draw 3 effect available, and I also have Faithless Looting in the graveyard. I think this is the Faithless Looting turn. I don't really want this land. Do you just have, like, a Daze or a Spell Pierce here? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. And because of the Cephalid Coliseum here, I'm just gonna hold this land. Alright, Volcanic Island comes back down. Hollow 1. I have 5 cards in graveyard. This is awkward. I think I play this land now. Because, like, a land means that I can just deploy the Hollow 1 for free. I mean, that's just attacks for 3. Okay. Like, that's fine. Not the most traditional path to victory, but it'll work. I think I'm just gonna try to get my damage in. I'm not gonna focus on some of the potential haste lines that I have here. We're just gonna Fire Breathe. And before anyone asks, note you can only activate that once a turn. The templating is just like our older Basking Rootwalla. I'm gonna just cast this on my opponent's turn. Think in their upkeep. Oh, I like the Ox. I like the Ox quite a bit. I am now up to 6 cards in graveyard, by the way. Alright, that's a Delver. No big deal at this stage of the game. I'm going to send in the Blazing Rootwalla. This is a really awkward turn cycle, because, like, I either get to play around, like, a Daze or a Lightning effect, a Bolt effect well, and I'm going to opt to play around the Lightning Bolt effect, because I don't want this Anji's Ravager getting Lightning Bolted, but now it can get Dazed. Nope, not happening. The way to play around the days is to do this pre-combat, but then if my opponent has a lightning bolt, they hit the Anji's Ravager instead of Blazing Rootwalla. So it's sort of a weird spot. I also don't feel like I have to play super patiently because I have like multiple 5-drops here that I can just start slamming. Okay. This turn is potentially going to get spicy. Well, I mean, let's go. Send them. And now the Anji's Ravager triggers happen. So that discards those first 3 cards. We'll get a Basking Rootwalla. We'll cast that with Madness. And my attackers have already been declared, so we can just go ahead and go to the next portion of the turn. Alright, Delver trades with that. That's totally fine. I am good with that. Alright, my opponent goes down to 8. So I'm going to play this land. And I have so many ways that I can play the remainder of this turn. I've already cast 1 critter. I kinda just want to Cephalid Coliseum myself and try to return a Vengevine. And if that doesn't work, I can Ox. Alright. So let's do this. I will do the Luton. Yeah, okay. So I will discard 1, 2, 3. This will be the second critter that I cast this turn. So this will return the Vengevine. Okay, and my opponent just concedes there. Alright. So, how do we feel on like Angers versus Once Upon a Times? My weird split's probably okay. Like the Anger's slightly worse because sometimes my mountains are gonna get wastelanded. The Once Upon a Time is slightly worse because they're not great versus like Daze and Spell Pierce effects. I don't know. Can't really explain why, but I feel like that's good. Just total gut feeling thing here. Okay, the opening hand here I think is reasonable. It can do some pretty broken stuff with Once Upon a Time and Firestorm, I think. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna wait to cast the Once Upon a Time until my turn. There's a temptation to play it on turn 0 here. To, like, most play around days. But I just don't think I want to do that. Ooh, Vengevine. Alright. So I think I'm going to go land, then Once Upon a Time, without paying its mana cost, since it's the first spell that I cast this game. Alright. Now, how do I play the rest of the turn? I can Firestorm, discarding 2 cards. 3 cards? Firestorm discarding 3 cards. And then just play double Hollow One. Double 4/4 on turn 1. Pretty sick. 4/4s are really hard to remove for this deck. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so like the next question becomes, what 3 cards? The LED is not really doing anything here. So I think it's cast Firestorm, discard Vengevine, LED, Wooded Foothills. Alright. Target this, target this, target this. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, it stopped because those are all the illegal targets. Alright. Firestorm, discard 1, discard 2, discard 3. Done. Alright. Goodbye to your threat. And then we're gonna go Hollow 1, Vengevine. This deck feels kind of broken, I'm not gonna lie. Like, all my hands are different, but they're all broken. This archetype is very strong. Okay, yep, Daze is fine. This is not actually the spell that I care about. These are. Now, these can still get forced. But even if one of them gets countered, I think just putting 8 power in play on turn 1 is enough to race my opponent. Okay, it has resolved. Now I cast the second one. My Vengevine returns. Okay, this one is going to get Force of Willed. Alright, I had a second Daze. Fine. Sack. I still think I came out pretty damn far ahead here. Alright, you've made your land drop. Um, I will careful study, question mark. I don't know. I think I actually want to do this post-combat. If I do this post-combat, um, there's some weird lines that happen where my opponent is able to um, kill my Vengevine and then I bring it back. Yeah. Okay, so my Vengevine dies. I get in 4 damage. My opponent's at 10. Do I want to play around the third days of the game? No? I think no. I'm going to put the Vengevine and the Firestorm in the graveyard and then just make my land drop here. The Firestorm is tempting, but I think the Cephalid Coliseum just gives me the highest chance of returning both those Vengevines and then killing my opponent at some point this game. Possible I'm supposed to hold the Cephalid Coliseum to play it around Wasteland, but if my only mana source in play gets Wastelanded, that kind of puts me in a different awkward situation anyway. Alright, Force of Will goes to the graveyard off the Surveil. There was no shuffle after a pretty long pause. Alright, I go to 19. Okay, order of operations. Do I actually want to cast this Faithless Looting? Probably not. I think I'm just going to do this. Because this allows me to potentially find another hollowed one. Awkward. LED's interesting. Another Cephalid Coliseum is also interesting. I think I'm just going to take the other Cephalid Coliseum. Although the upside of just like, yeah, so the days could hit Faithless Looting if I keep LED. Could go for flashback. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep the other Cephalid Coliseum. Like I just ended up in basically the same position that I started in. As of right now, it kind of seems like my opponent is going to need to trick like a Dragon Rage Channeler and a Lightning Bolt for my onboard hollow one. Okay, there's a Wasteland. Goodbye, Cephalid Coliseum. No? Or no, okay. I'm not sure why exactly the answer is no. Maybe my opponent can have something like a Brazen Borrower. I think I do this pre-combat. But again, I'm not 100% sure. Actually, is activating this mid-combat fine? I potentially miss out on Vengevine, though. Yeah, let's do this. Target me. Do the thing. Awkward. I think I go 1, 2, 3. I unfortunately cannot cast this with Madness. No. LED. Okay, so I have to crack this first in terms of order of operations. All Ox, get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done. Alright, the Ox resolves. Get a draw 3. Get to make a land drop. Cast a Blazing Rootwalla, which returns double Vengevine. This is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. Alright. No lands, no problem. So, like, not counting whatever happens with Once Upon a Time, this hand already goes LED, crack it for red, free Basking Rootwalla, cast Anji's Ravager, return Vengevine, and, like, we might get an Ox, too. Keep. How is this deck okay? Like, oh my god. Alright, so Once Upon a Time. Okay, second Anji's Ravager, does that do anything? No. Does land do anything? Also, how fucking weird is it that I just said that phrase? Like, does a land do anything when I have no lands? I guess a land lets me play safer. Get a Valk. We'll do that. I will do that. Alright. So let's go land. Play LED. I want to know if this resolves immediately. It does. We are in business. Alright. Junk this. Get Valk. Cast a Faithless Looting. Oh my god. Alright. So let's discard the Vengevine and the Basking Rootwalla right now. And we will Madness in my Lizard. Cast. Play second LED. Let's crack LED for red. And that lets me Madness in Anji's Ravager. I need 8 cards in graveyard. Oh, it sure would be a shame. Oh, I'm gonna take the Vengevine out of the graveyard. Alright, it's fine. Oh. You had a Force of Will. Hmm. Okay. I will use my Vengevine's ability. So for people playing against this deck, please counter the Lion's Eye Diamond. Your advice from Phil. Okay, so I have 7 cards in graveyard. This would be the 8th card in graveyard, but I need to do 8 other cards. So I think I hold this for 1 turn so that I can junk some other card. The other thing I could do is just Faithless Looting. I don't think that's great here. Let's just ship in with the Vengevine. And the Ox is the plan to refuel. Now, note, I did have double Lion's Eye Diamond here, which makes countering, the first Lion's Eye Diamond slightly worse. But in most cases, I think you are supposed to go for the LED immediately against this deck. You're just gonna stifle me? You're going to Brainstorm. Okay. So there now could be a Terminus on top of my opponent's deck in theory. If that happens, I don't actually want to put the Ox into play. So maybe my line here is actually just get Trop and hit my opponent for half of their life total. What wonderful flexibility. ThrabenU. Okay, yeah. Opponent is done. Okay, so we are playing against some sort of like Bant Flash style deck. So that means Endurance is going to be something that's on my mind. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to sideboard a single card. Uro is kind of annoying, but it takes so long to get an Uro online. I could see Lightning Axe. Is it Planeswalkers? No, only creatures. Yeah, I think I'm just going to whack the submit button and not sideboard any cards. Like, there's some world where I play like a Chain of Vapor or something, or some Leylines, but I don't know. I think given 2 games, I could just kill my opponent somehow. Too many Vengevines. Oh, this hand's great. Breakthrough is going back here. Sure. Leyline makes my Lion's Eye Diamond a little bit worse. Okay, so we're actually playing against maybe a 4-color loam deck now, it looks like. Yes, I'm playing against a 4-color loam deck. Alright. Once upon a time. These cards are not exactly fantastic. Am I just going to go essentially all in on an Anji's Ravager on turn 1? I think I am. Like, fetch Volcanic Island, and then go cast Blazing Rootwalla, LED, Anji's Ravager. That's all fine. If the plan doesn't work, I think I want another creature. So, land, LED, fetch, Volcanic Island, red, and a Force of Will on this Anji's Ravager would suck. But, like, I get to use it as Black Lotus here. And Black Lotus is banned in this format, so if you get to play with it and your opponent doesn't, that's pretty grand. Alright, there's a Wasteland. Excuse me. And that is a scary card. But this is a situation where my opponent like has to remove Anji's Ravager this turn. And they are not succeeding in that. So it doesn't super matter that my opponent wastelanded me here. So I get like a new hand. The Uro is slightly scary from my opponent, I will totally admit that. And this Leyline is a touch annoying. Do I want to make my next land drop, or do I want to have an LED? I think I want to make my next land drop. It's close, though. Because, like, this one can get a mountain. And then I can always have a land that will be around. Alright. The opponent has theoretical Uro mana, which is not great for me. I'm guessing if my opponent has Leyline of the Void, I have to worry about Endurance a little bit less. But I thought my opponent was going to be on Miracles, and they're actually on 4-color Loam. That does change things a little bit. I think I'm going to lose this game. Trying to figure out how to get out of it. I don't think it involves casting this Careful Study. I'm going to go ahead and just crash in with both my creatures, because my opponent's going to block Anji's Ravager. Okay. I think I'm more or less comfortable conceding this game here. Like, I think I have lost this game now. But I am going to play on just for a couple more turns. I'd like to see a few more cards in my opponent's deck. But I think my initial onslaught just did not work. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see how I get back in this game, but if I can take a look at a couple more like win conditions and cards in my opponent's deck on the way out the door, that'd be good. Alright, I'm down to 10. I'm a little surprised my Cephalid Coliseum just didn't get wastelanded, but I guess they've got other plans. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I don't beat this Jace here either. Just like the ability to bounce larger creatures like Hollow when I put in play means that I can't just like double block Uro. Yeah, I just don't think I can win from here. But we're gonna see like another threat from my opponent here, from the looks of things. Alright, it's just Light from the Loam. Okay, I think I'm unlikely to see more cards from my opponent. I'm gonna go ahead and concede. Alright, how do I want to sideboard? So I could Leyline. Cutting my opponent off of Light from the Loam and Uro simultaneously is pretty darn strong. I think I'm gonna go that route. I think I'm gonna get rid of Angers and Breakthroughs. And I'm gonna play 4 Leylines and trim 2 Once Upon a Times to bring in a couple of Chain of Vapors. And this means I have a way of like shutting my opponent out of the game. Well, not shutting them out of the game. I have a way of making my opponent's cards significantly worse. And I also have a way to bounce my opponent's stuff. This has cost me a little bit of explosiveness, but I think overall this is still fine. I may be over sideboarding here. It may be possible that, like, I'm just supposed to play the Chain of Vapors, and then like that just bounces my opponent's stuff, and I don't need to try to leyline them. I just need to try to kill them. Let's try this. This is one of those things where I don't necessarily have the heuristics from playing this deck enough, but I very much might be over sideboarding here. Okay, I think this hand is fine. There are things that can go wrong. This hand already puts 2 creatures into play on turn 1 and is just like very, very close from dumping double Hollow One into play as well. Alright. Careful Study. Alright. I'll just discard double Rootwalla here. We didn't hit like the Vengevine nuts or anything here, but we have 2 creatures in play on turn 1 on, you know, quote unquote, a bad hand. Do I want to play Lion's Eye Diamond here for Chalice on 0? I don't think so. I just want to hold that. Alright. Got some mana acceleration from my opponent. Do a Brainstorm. Sure. So once I actually get around to activating a Cephalid Coliseum, the Hollow Ones will become free. Alright, new land. Alright. Sure. Okay, that Once Upon a Time is not currently castable. Very possible I'm supposed to just bounce this Mox Diamond. Not gonna do that. What did the Ponder do? Ponder shuffled. It's a cheeky play. Then in the Lizards. Opponent goes to 17. No, I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Like, it'll obviously be very bad against like a Light from the Loam. But otherwise I think it's strong. So something to keep in mind for the future is that at some point I can play Lion's Eye Diamond and then sacrifice it to double pump Blazing Rootwallas. Alright. I think I'm just going to go ahead and crash in with these and see where the turn goes. That's fine. I'll cast a Once Upon a Time on my opponent's turn, I believe. Alright, it looks like my opponent is taking no actions here. I will take some actions instead. All I need to do is work on filling this graveyard. Ooh. Vengevine's legit. Volcanic Island is not bad to just work towards hard casting hollow ones either. But I think I'm just going to pick up Vengevine. It's the sort of card that I really want to have access to. Alright, Blazing Rootwalla of the draw. I think I just attack in. And then play Blazing Rootwalla. It's also possible that I'm supposed to just attack in and then Fire Breathe. Don't hate that either. Alright, send him in. Yeah, I think I will just Fire Breathe. Like, I'm winning on board. Okay, Swords of Plowshares is fine. Alright, opponent goes to 14. I'll just pass the turn. Alright, opponent has a Sylvan Library. That's very good for them because they're kind of stuck right now. I have a few too many hollow ones here. I think I am just going to cycle one of these. I think with both my blue mana sources. Thank you, deck. Thank you so much. Alright, I'll turn this lizard sideways. Gonna put the hurt on my opponent. And work towards just double spelling. Oh, another Source of Plowshares. I mean, this is Source of Plowshares on my lizards rather than on like my Vengevines and hollow ones. So overall, I'm good with this. My hand also just has like infinite potential. Also, it may just be that my opponent is like a Bant deck that has like some number of Mox Diamonds and just Life from the Loams rather than actually being a like legit 4-color loam deck, because it really looks like they're just playing like Bant control, Bant miracles with a few quirky choices. Alright. So, how do I want to play this? Because I can just go LED, Rootwalla, Vengevine. But I feel like discarding 3 hollow ones is a bad choice for me. I'm gonna go ahead and just cycle one of them. I just want to hit like a Faithless Looting. That is not a Faithless Looting. I'm gonna cast an LED and see if I can get my opponent to counter it. Okay. Not successful. Maybe I'm just supposed to cast this. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna cast this. Game is playing out in such a weird way, but I don't really feel like it's correct for me to just like go all in here, because I feel like my hand is just so strong. Like if I go all in and then I just get Terminus or something, it's so awkward for me. It's hard to come back from that without say an Ox in the graveyard or something. The fact that my opponent's removal is exiling is a little bit annoying here, because that's not fueling my graveyard count. If we're playing against Lightning Bolts, for example, we'd have 7 cards in graveyard. We could start activating Cephalid Coliseums. And then I just go insane. I'm a little surprised that my opponent is able to take damage off of Sylvan Library here. It may be that their situation is bad enough that they just need to do that, but like even the stupid little Rootwalla is scary. Like this lizard is a 2-turn clock. Alright, what you got? Just more land. Chain of Vapor is legit. I think that means I just continue to play this like hyper conservative game. Send it. That is an endurance. It nukes my graveyard. That's annoying, but I think fine. So then I'm just gonna bounce that, which is awkward. Okay, let's see if my opponent sacrifices a land to bounce one of my things. It's very possible. Okay, they do not. So go to blockers. I will Fire Breathe. And that puts my opponent to 2. There's some all-in lines I can take here, but again, I think I am trying to grind my opponent out. Like three of their mana is built towards using Endurance to make it through the next turn cycle. I draw a land, I can just play a hasty Vengevine. Yeah, this is a strange game. Okay, Uro's very good here. That punishes me a little bit for playing as conservatively as I have. They also potentially could have Endurance. Alright, so here comes the Uro. And by potentially, I mean they could have a green card to pitch to Endurance. Just clarifying that statement, because that might have sounded a little weird. Alright, so this puts them to 7, which makes it hard. And I've also used 2 Chain of Vapors for tempo plays. So now I can't actually answer this Uro, which is a real problem. Alright. How do I win? Probably involves cycling Hollow 1 into something relevant here. Do I do that off of Taiga Cephalid Coliseum? That cuts me off green easily. Doesn't matter too much. Also, like, do I have to play around? Like, is my opponent going to have endurance? Alright. Try this. Yeah. I just have to lay around my opponent not having a green card to pitch to endurance. I can go land. Assuming these don't go to play. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to get Cephalid Coliseum active while also returning Vengevine. Oh, I can play the second LED, and that gets me to the same place. Then I can track both LEDs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I cannot play this land. We'll crack an LED for blue. And we'll cast this. This is so tense. We'll cast this. Now my Vengevine trigger is on the stack. And with this on the stack, I believe it is correct to go all in. It makes the endurance blowout so much worse. But I think I need to do this. I'm going to target myself here. Do you have a green card? You do not. Discard 3 cards. Well, I guess I could still have a green card. If they do not have a green card, in addition to getting the Vengevine, I am also going to refuel via the Ox. Ah, shit, they did. I mean, that's fine. Like, if I wait and they don't respond to the Vengevine trigger because they don't have to and they can just beat it, it's so bad for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and concede here. I'm not going to beat the onboard Uro plus Sylvan Library here, and I used up a lot of clock. Oh, okay, that was the last one. Well, that's fine. That was an incredibly complicated game, and there were a lot of different lines that I could have taken. It's very possible that I lost myself that one. Like, I had a lot of tools, but drawing like all 4 hollow ones and no way to actually loot through some of those cards was pretty devastating as well. Okay, so I have Once Upon a Time, double LED, Vengevine. I think this hand is a keep. It's so weird that I can just like keep 1-landers, but I think this hand is probably an above average hand. Alright, opponent just ponders. So like I think I Once Upon a Time find a land, cast Faithless Looting, and then probably go off pretty hard. I mean, we'll see. This could just get countered right here and it would be awkward. Not anymore. Alright, let's cast it. Oh man, I only get one of these. I think it's the Anji's Ravager. It's possible it's the Vengevine. I think it's the Anji's Ravager because then I can try to use Faithless Looting to do broken stuff. I'm probably cracking LED this turn cycle. Let's grab it. Alright. I think since I have 2 LEDs, I'm going to cast an LED right now before playing my land drop. And see if I can get that dazed. Negative. Alright, so land. I'm going to cast the second LED. And let's go for Faithless Looting. I just want to find any Madness card here. And then I get Vengevine and Ravager this turn. That is awkward. That's really awkward. A slow, like... I think I still just go for putting the Anji's Ravager into play. If it goes wrong, I still just have an LED plus a non-wastelandable land in play. If I had green mana, I would not go for this. Alright. Crack for red. We'll cast with Madness. Alright. Let's go for broke. Faithless Looting. Just try to hit a Madness. Excuse me. I was just enjoying how fucking stupid my deck is. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. 1 mana short of doing the Ox. I guess also 1 card in graveyard short. Take 8. Good turn 1. Good turn 1. Enjoy your lightning bolts. Holy shit. So we're presumably playing against Delver, although also it like could just be show and tell. If it's Delver, I want to board these 5 cards. If it's show and tell, I probably board 0. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna just board a little conservatively and only give myself 2 dead. Well, they're not even dead cards. Like I can still just fucking discard with them. I'll probably just board for Delver, and I don't remember where I settled on like the Once Upon a Time versus Anger thing. Board like this. Yeah, this is fine. I kind of want to just like I want my opponent to play a creature on turn 1. Did not. Alright, I think I go Tropical Island Careful Study this turn, and then I save this Scalding Tarn for next turn when I could like avoid being stifled. Alright. I also don't necessarily think that this is just going to resolve cleanly. Alright, a lot of thinking from the opponent, followed by a Daze. Alright, that's fine. So one reason to play Scalding Tarn and just like fetch a mountain this turn and then like play Faithless Looting is that on turn 2 I could Careful Study and Lightning Axe, but I can't Faithless Looting and Lightning Axe, although it looks like that doesn't matter here. Alright. I'm going to play around Stifle by not playing Scalding Tarn and just play Faithless Looting here. We'll see if this one resolves. 1 short on mana to just Anji's Ravager here. I'm going to discard a Vengevine. I think the second Lightning Axe. And now I've discarded 2 cards, which means this costs 1 mana. It can get dazed, but like I'm going to ram cards into daze here because like my next turn is probably tapping out for Anji's Ravager. And then the following turn I have like Lightning Axe, discard Once Upon a Time, and then do the draw 3. Ha ha ha. Oh, Phil, you are so smart and sexy. Good job, Phil. Just feel good about that read. It looks like a Grixis Delver deck. Yep. Let's continue not getting stifled. 1, 2, 3. All right, good stuff. Womp womp. I mean, that's fine. Like I have 6 cards in graveyard already. I can get a 7th into the graveyard with Scalding Tarn, even if that gets stifled. That gives me Cephalid Coliseum. I also have Lightning Axe. And also just like a hard cast of Vengevine. I think that's my line this turn. Got a stifle over there? Nope. Okay. This land needs to be blue. Probably blue red, because I already have green green. And let's just cast an idiot. If it gets countered, oh no. If it gets bolted, oh no. Yep. Notably, I do not believe that that is the proper time to do that, because theoretically, if I had something like a Lion's Eye Diamond and a second creature, I could bring it back immediately. That is not the case this turn, but just like we're talking about optimizations in playing against this deck, I think that's really important. Alright, there is a Basking Rootwalla. I could just flashback Faithless Looting here. Discard this. I could also just like treat this as a Once Upon a Time turn, and then try to find a Madness card. Then try to guarantee double Vengevine next turn. I kind of like that. Let's leave up maybe these 2 and cast Once Upon a Time. I'm just going to do it main phase because things can happen. Oh, Hollow One. Hollow One is pretty sick. So then I activate Cephalid Coliseum, cast Hollow One, return 2 Vengevines. Yeah, that's fine. Stifle's a little annoying, but I think that's okay. Alright. Target me. Pop out this graveyard. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Let's discard Vengevine, Basking Rootwalla, and honestly, probably the Lightning Axe at this point. And even if my opponent were to Surgical Vengevine here, it's just like not enough. This is also just like my second league with this deck, and I'm still like making mistakes and testing things out. Once this like lizard deck, this madness deck is optimized, this is going to be fucking terrifying once pilots like actually know what they're doing. Just wow. Yeah. Oh, surgical extraction targeting hollow one. That is kind of savage here. And that's rough. Alright, so my opponent avoided the disaster level scenario of triple Vengevine coming back. I wonder if that was the right play from their end. Like, is that better than just eliminating these Vengevines for the rest of the game? I really don't know. Alright, how do I want to play my turn? I think I just want to tap out for Anji's Ravager. I'm going to crash in for one. Like, just getting the Anji's Ravager in play is so much pressure on my opponent. And if it doesn't resolve, no big deal. If it does resolve, it's insane. What do you got? Sure. Wonder if my opponent is like desperately looking for another surgical extraction to stop Vengevines or something. Lightning Bolt is very good. Alright. Is this the turn to flashback Faithless Looting? Probably an okay turn to flashback Faithless Looting. I'm going to do it without playing around days, I think. But I might just want to keep cards in hand that I draw. Cephalid Coliseum is very good. I'm going to keep that and use that next turn. Chunk these two cards. I am going to hold the Cephalid Coliseum in hand. I do not want to expose that to a wasteland. And I have just had the best calls this game. Sure. I think I want a Cephalid Coliseum prior to Careful Study, but I can Careful Study around Soft Permission, and like that just lets me look at the most cards possible. Maybe I do it this way. Let's go 1, 2. There's my first thing for Vengevine. Then I'll play land, target myself, pay the blue, filter this Ravager into something new. Awkward timing is awkward, but I think it's fine. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Madness triggers, but I can't do anything with that. Then I'll play LED, which is going to cast the Ox. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. This deck is absurd. We're up to 3 and 1, and the one that I did lose was a very complicated game where I had plenty of different lines that I could have taken. This deck is nuts. Okay, final round opening hand. Other than Cephalid Coliseum, I can't actually discard anything here. I think I need to mulligan this one. This goes Once Upon a Time into Careful Study, discarding a Basking Rootwalla and an Ox as of right now. This hand is probably good enough. Let's bin 1 Ox. And let's Once Upon a Time. Alright. Vengevine, Ravager, and lands. The Vengevine is most interesting to me at this exact time. I think I'm going to grab that. So I'm going to go Trop and Careful Study. But it's very possible I don't discard the Basking Rootwalla this turn. And I save that to try to trigger Vengevine later. Yeah. Let's junk Vengevine and the Ox. Hand is currently a weak. We were hoping for something a little stronger off the Careful Study. Are we about to get mooned? Alice? What is this? The Goblin Rabble Master. Okay. So, if I play a land and fetch, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in graveyard, I believe. So I think I have to wait 1 turn on the Ox. Double check that. So 1, 2, counting the fetch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it does work as long as I don't madness this. Confirm. Let's fetch Volcanic Island. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Is this better than... Actually, is this better than we're just waiting 1 turn? I could also like cycle Hollow One this turn. And it's just it's a 5/3 very quickly. Bad against Chandra. I'm supposed to cycle this turn and then like get the Vengevine next turn. Let's do that. I think that extra power is worth it. Yeah, new Ox. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I just Ox now. Alright, fuck it. Alright, so there's 9 cards in my graveyard. I can Madness this and still Ox. Okay. Alright. Past that. Get the Ox. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have to take the Vengevine out, unfortunately. But this gives me a draw 3 with red mana remaining. Okay. That's 2 damage to my Ox. It has 3 toughness. Cool. Those were exceptionally bad draws. It's fine. He could have just stomped this and killed something. I guess opponent looked at it when it was in graveyard and it was a 4/2 and didn't realize that it was going to enter with a counter. Alright. Cost some 3 life. Chaos on 0 is fine. Followed by a Trinosphere. Now that's not bad. But here's the issue with that. I have 8 power in play. And some of the big haymakers like Chandra can kill City, but then the Rootwalla will pick off the Planeswalker afterwards. Okay, Karn, sure. They can like plus on a Trinosphere. Or nope. Alright, so they're just going for an ensnaring bridge next turn. That's not actually the end of the world. I have like 1/1s in my deck. That's weird. So the next question is like, do I kill Karn or do I put my opponent to 1? Kind of want to put my opponent to 1, and then a lizard attack can just kill them. But Karn can plus on a Trinosphere, but then I guess I trade with the Trinosphere. Oh, this is super weird. I'm gonna put them to 1. I just think I have the best chance of dealing 1 point of damage to them over the course of this game. If Ensnaring Bridge is something that I don't really have good game 1 outs to. Okay, there's a Magus of the Moon, and that's going to allow my opponent to play a second spell. That is something I very much did not want to see. And then there's a plus on the Trinosphere. So I thought that my opponent was going to be unable to empty their hand, but that exact sequence was quite strong. So now, unless my opponent cannot play one of their cards for some reason, I probably lose this one. Now it's possible it was correct for me to like wait the other turn for the Vengevine. It's so hard to tell with this deck. And like if I had waited and then gotten Trinosphere or something, things are bad. Let me just confirm real quick. I like that I have no game 1 outs to a bridge that has like successfully resolved. I do not. Alright. There's a Blood Moon. I guess technically I was supposed to grow Basking Rootwalla in response. I'm going to concede here. I think that I am going to lose this game to Lattice Lock or Liquid Metal Coating or whatever at this point. Alright. Let's board in a couple of Ancient Grudges and Meltdowns. Firestorms and Lightning Axes are okay as well. My opponent's pretty likely to have Leyline, so I think I'm going to go Breakthrough out and Angers out. And I'll keep some number of stuff that's just good against like Goblin Rabble Masters. Probably Lightning Axe. Firestorm as well is a maybe. I can see trimming some Once Upon a Times for Firestorms for the Goblin-based hands. But I think I'm going to do that on the draw rather than on the play. Alright, what's the opening hand look like? I do not have red mana to cast my 4 red spells, unfortunately. I think this one has to go back. This hand is quite strong. I'm going to be keeping this and pitching the Lightning Axe. And let's just find any Madness card here. Alright, there is a Basking Rootwalla. So what land do I want to have this game? The fetch land provides the highest degree of versatility. The Cephalid Coliseum is extra value. I'm going to take the extra value. All right, land, LED. I'll crack LED. It doesn't really matter for what color. I guess green. Then I can save this from a... Now my opponent is not going to like double Simian Spirit Guide Stomp. All right, Lizard number 1. Lizard number 2. Trigger Vengevine. Oh, it is a fairy. Sure. That neuters my start a lot. I will grow my lizard. I think my opponent is going to take this game. The fairy was quite strong. And not a particularly common inclusion in that archetype either. It's usually a leyline archetype, which is why I wasn't even thinking about playing around fairy. Like, I knew of its existence, but... C'est la vie. Alright, Ancient Tomb, Spirit Guide, Magus. Yep, that's bad. The good news is I can still attack in for 3 damage every turn, because the mountain lets me pump. The bad news is most of my spells have been cut off from me. Alright, Scalding Tarn, not the draw that I'm looking for. Go Lizard, go. And we'll Fire Breathe. I do not believe I am... No, I am going to play this land. I've got hard casting hollow ones to think about. Like, the upside of keeping extra lands in hand is that I can Faithful Saluting them away. But the downside of not playing them is that hollow ones become harder to cast, and 4/4s are good. Alright, looks like that's all my opponent has this turn. Ancient Grudge is not a bad thing to have access to. Not sad about it. Ooh, my opponent is going for a block. So I will do my fire breathing thing. See if my opponent stomps. Kind of feels like it's what they have, yeah. I was going to say, it didn't seem super likely that they would want to actually give up that Magus of the Moon. Alright. They're just going to play a 4/3 here unless they have a Planeswalker. Oh, they have a Karn. That is bad for me. I do have an Ancient Grudge. So I'm not just going to get immediately locked out by that or anything, but if I can't attack through the Magus of the Moon, it's just a huge problem. There's also things just of like Walking Ballista caliber that are just really good against me here. Alright. Tormod's Crypt is reasonable. Yeah, I mean, pass this, I pass the turn. But I think the ship has sailed on me reasonably being able to win this game. I'm not quite at the concession point yet. JK, I am. That's fine. We will scoop to that. 2 Planeswalkers plus not being able to cast most of my spells plus graveyard coverage is a lot. Alright, overall thoughts on the deck list. Great. Absolutely great. We went 3-2 in this league, but this was a 3-2 that felt busted. Just like absolutely insanely powerful, bordering on unfair. And I'm also willing to say that it's possible that piloting differently, this could have been a 5-0 league. In the round earlier versus, I think it was Bant, I had a lot of really complicated decisions around that endurance turn. And like, it's possible if I piloted that turn differently, I win that game. And similarly, if I wait a turn to get a Vengevine, it's possible I win game 1 in this set, and then I am able to lose that game and go to a game 3. This is great. The Cephalid Coliseums are kind of weird. They put a little bit of a strain on the mana base since they're only a single colored land, but they allow you to do really stupid things. There's a weird anti-synergy there, because like these aren't mountains, and Anger cares about you having mountains. That sort of thing came up a couple of times, and I have like 3 Drops and 4 Cephalid Coliseums and 3 Angers. The numbers there seem a little weird. But generally speaking, I think Cephalid Coliseum is worth testing a little bit more. Let's pull up the sideboard for a second. I really like this. I mean, this is a good sideboard. I'm not sure how much this deck actually wants a Chain of Vapor effect. Because, like, how much do I actually care about the hate? Like, if a Leyline happens, I intend on just casting, like, Rootwallers and pumping them, Andu's Ravagers and Vengevines and Hollow Ones. Like, it slows down my most explosive starts, but it's like, does that matter? This deck is good, and this is something that should be on your radar if you are either a casual or a serious Legacy player, because you are going to run into this archetype quite a bit, I think. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider that for sweet Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 7 days a week. And if you want to get your own thing on stream or try out this exact deck list, check out the video description for extra information. Have a great rest of the day. Deck is sick.